Audience, this is the BS The Backstory. I'm your host, Sylvie Q. I arrived in Columbus, Ohio, and I have a special guest. You guys know her as Judy. My cousin Judy, which is my second cousin. We're just gonna use real names. And what's your name, cousin?
My name's Lauren, not Judy. But we here.
My freshman year of high school just finished, and I tell my parents, listen, I'm gonna go travel 2 weeks to Florida to go visit my grandparents. They're like, alright, cool.
I will say at first it was really cool. I don't remember much of it, but as you said, I was 7, you were 14. You seemed chill. I was like more of the person to bug you. I feel like the little sister usually does, like a bugger. And I remember always just trying to mess with you or coming into the room, seeing what you were doing, cause like I ain't had no friends there. We were at Gigi's house. Everybody else is older than me, and I'm just sitting there like, I don't have nothing to do. Nobody really talks to me. You had your little phone or MP3 player.
Lauren was already over there, and we had Auntie Carrie over there. We had mangoes galore, and we also had pineapples. But I remember Lauren, she'll have coloring book. I never had any younger siblings, so like she asked me all these questions. I'm like, why is she asking me all these questions? I got annoyed, I can't lie. It's not like I stopped talking to her, but she didn't have a phone. She was 7 years old. I was wondering, where did she go? Where in the family tree did you come from? You just popped out of nowhere. 3 years after that, high school graduation party at my house. Family and friends donated money to my trust funds to college. Auntie Carrie, Uncle Frost, and Luna showed up at my house. Auntie Carrie actually brought Lauren.
I arrived at your house. Like I said, everybody was much, much older than me, so I really ain't have nobody to connect with. So I automatically went to somebody familiar, Noah. I remember going into your basement, forgot what you were doing, but I was sitting there talking with you, and we were just like chilling, I guess. Yeah.
Ever since we went to Florida and like we connected, like we just been on that chill type of vibe. Whenever we link up, that's normally how it is. After that, after when I went away to college, here's the thing that I just found out today. I went to Erie, Pennsylvania, which is 3 hours away from Columbus. And my parents did not tell me I had family in Columbus, Ohio. That's 3 hours away, audience. I could have easily just took a drive right over there to go see them. A year and a half ago, we call it Mission Techno. I took a trip, Ohio, Columbus, and that was the exact same time that I saw all my other distant relatives. Cousins, little cousins, older cousins, first cousins, second cousins. My younger cousins they were shook. Until Lauren showed up, everybody was on edge, and then, we connected. That was the next time that I see you.
Yeah. A month ago? Not a month ago now, but a month ago during that time. Everything was pretty much fresh. It was but it was kind of weird because it was during the pandemic still. They just opened everything back up. When I saw you here in Columbus, that was probably the most connecting point, I would say, because we actually got to sit down, talk. I was able to not have a mature conversation, but have a mature conversation with you pretty much, because when I was younger, I don't know what I was talking about. I don't know if you remember, but we was just talking. Well, I wasn't my senior year. I was getting ready to graduate. I was coming out of isolation pretty much. That's what I would say.
Okay. And you mentioned you graduated in high school. Did you have a graduation party?
I had a graduation dinner with my family and one of my very close best friends who isn't my best friend anymore. Yeah, the dinner was pretty cool.
As far as college choices, you could just talk a little bit about that. I went away 7 hours away to college, but away from home. Walk me through your college decision. Where did you want to go? Where did you end up going? What is your major?
Originally, when I was graduating high school, my top pick was Howard University. For some reason, I did not get accepted into Howard University, but I did get accepted into Clark Atlanta, North Carolina A&T, and Spelman. Yet, I was set on going to Clark Atlanta. I even went and toured the campus and everything, talked to a few people, got familiar with the area. But then when moving kind of came, they told me that I needed to pay $28,000 to move in. And so my mind changed really quickly. I had to make decisions pretty much in crunch time. I really didn't want to stay in state, but that's what I ended up doing. I ended up going to a school an hour away from here in Wilberforce, Ohio. Pretty much in the middle of nowhere. Honestly.
What is the pros and cons of being close to home that you could think of?
I will say a con is, for me, I feel too close. I kind of want to get away. I know Columbus. I know Ohio. I want to explore outside of this. Maybe a pro is having family members a little bit closer. So like in case of emergency or if I needed something, it's in arm's reach pretty much.
What I want to say to the audience is, when you're close to home, you get the home cooked meals and you have family members visiting you, easy access to call up. They're literally one call away. That's all well and good, but however, when you on the other side, when you're 7 hours away, you call them and they're like, okay, yeah, I'll be there next week. It's a difference. When you go to college in state and you're from that state, it's gonna be a lot cheaper than being from out of that state. I talked a little bit about how college life for me, how I went out to the girls dorm, and my freshman year I just chilled out. Also I had other obligations with my basketball team, so it was a little bit different. You could talk towards being just like a student. Like I was a student athlete, but I don't know how it was just being like a student on college.
Freshman year, for like about a month, I was really just in the dorm. I had like 5 close friends at that time. I would hang out with them. We would go like skating, or we would go out to eat, have movie nights in each other's rooms, play games like you touched on. But that was pretty much it. Then after about that month, I started going out, socializing, getting to know a little bit more people, not being as antisocial as I was the month previously. And I gained some experiences, learned a little bit, got a little bit of the college experience, you know what I mean.
So are you actively in a student union club
now or freshman year?
Could fast forward to like this year.
I joined 3 clubs this year. I joined modeling, which took up a lot of my time. I also joined our poetry club because I like to write often sometimes, but also like to hear others write. And I joined this club that teaches you pretty much how to take care of your natural hair. And it's like a salon cosmetology school pretty much, and it's cool.
With you going to all these student union clubs, is it a sense of community, or do you get to meet different people from walks of life? How is that experience like? As far as like the people, the environment, the vibe?
I will say one of the groups that I joined, clubs, the vibe wasn't all that. It was pretty much like everybody pinned up against each other, and I'm pretty sure you guessed it, it was modeling. For some reason, everybody's pretty catty, or they act like they're your friend 1 second and they're really not your friend.
I'm hearing a lot of fake energy.
Yeah, it's just drama feel, honestly, which that comes with it. I will say the group that I felt most secure with, like a sense of family, a sense of community, is the natural hair cosmetology group. It's all girls. We learn about each other's hair. We take steps to learn about each other's background, and we do volunteers with the women's homeless shelter out there in our area. And I really enjoyed that group. I will say my poetry group, we're somewhere in the middle. You gotta know who to go to.
As far as majors, when I went to college, I went for sports business management because for me personally, it was easy because I played sports and I watched ESPN. So it was easy for me. I just wanted to graduate. What is your major that you're studying right now?
Okay, I got a backstory on this. So initially, I started my freshman year off as a psychology major. Majored in that for a year, and somewhere in between that year, I noticed that psychology isn't for me. I like to learn about it. I just don't see myself in it as a career, a profession, any of that. So currently, I am an engineering major and a finance major. I really am fascinated about money in the money world. I did just kind of get my foot into it, so I don't know that much. I think that would be my...
That's definitely big money there, finance and engineering. I know that there's gonna be a whole bunch of jobs opening up, especially with technology and the way that we're moving in society. Just trying new things. Sometimes that's what you gotta do in life, because your parents might tell you one thing, but like at the end of the day, you gotta experience for yourself, or in this case, college. You gotta experience the college life. You heard two different sides of college: the sports side, how I being a sports athlete, and then also being a student and being in the student union clubs. I don't know, you want to shout out any of social media if people want to follow you or nothing like that, or just call it a wrap, how we want to end it?
Y'all can go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Lori.Aslee, LORIE.ASLEE. And yeah, that's it for me pretty much.
Alright, so I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is the audio letter. I'm your host, Sylvie EQ. This is the BS The Backstory. So my family, friends, new subscribers, I know you out there, and walk easy. Alright, so we done. Alright, so
where did that name come from?
how fast we mature, however, gotta get points on the board. Wingman are cool, however, I'd rather score. Cucumber ain't my main thing. Why you tripping for?